bold rate cut last week brought relief to many potential home buyers. But even with mortgage rates slowly starting to ease, most buyers are still staying on the sidelines over concerns about affordability. Can future rate cuts, though, transform this stale housing market into a stable one? Here to share her insights, we've got Kamini Lane, who is the Coldwell Banker CEO. Great to hear you. Great to have you here with us. First and foremost, I mean, just in what you're seeing in the data yourself and the engagements that Coldwell is having with some of its potential clients, how are you seeing people go about the thought process of purchasing a home right now, especially with some of the mortgage rate slippage and continuing rate cuts that are anticipated?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that the rate cut was really well received, right? I think it had been kind of on the horizon for a little while, highly anticipated, and it was a great thing to see because, as we've been discussing, we really are in a bit of an affordability crisis in the U.S. today, with housing affordability at the lowest rate since 1985. And so I think that the rate cut did get people off the sidelines, and a lot of it is psychological, right? People have been waiting to see some movement by the Fed, and they saw that movement. And I think that is going to spur an increase in affordability, which should loosen supply, right? Because we've seen that lock-in effect with people who had historically low long-term mortgage rates and were unwilling to give that up. So it should ease that lock-in effect, get more inventory on the market, and that in turn will get more buyers on the market.
Kamini, when we think about the real rates that mortgages would need to come down to ignite a totally new wave of buyers to come in, what is your projection there? What would we need to see rates come down to even have first-time home buyers or home buyers that have been sidelined for years really say, okay, now I think I can make sure that I'm able to take out a mortgage and then give myself good terms for a longer period of time?
Well, rates right now are around the low 6%, right? And while that is a lot higher, let's be honest, it's a lot higher than it was post-pandemic, those 2 and 3 and 4% rates that people got used to very quickly. The reality is the low 6% is very much in line with US historical averages. Now, I think what we need to see is another cut, right? And we need to see more inventory on the market. We need to see price increases stabilize. I think the combination of all of those factors is what's going to get buyers off the sidelines. It's what's going to address the inventory constraints. It's going to address the affordability concerns, and it's going to get the market moving. All of that said, we still are in a robust housing market. Well-priced inventory is absolutely moving. And in many of our metros across the United States, our days on market are just a couple of weeks. And we look at a balanced market as closer to sort of 50-ish days on market. Most of our metros are nowhere near that.
Is now a good time to refinance your mortgage if you've taken one out over the past few years, and or even if more broadly you just are looking at the market and saying, hey, these seem like more favorable terms?
Well, that really depends on the terms of your mortgage, right? Rates have come down, but again, they really aren't close to the rates that we saw post-pandemic. We have a record number of people who have fixed 30-year mortgage rates that are in those 3%. Now, if you have a mortgage and today's current rates and current terms are better than the mortgage that you have today, then absolutely, it's a great time to refinance. And, the reality is on a $400,000 loan, just 1 percentage point decrease in your rate is about $250 a month, and that is significant.
Welcome back. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen saying yesterday that she...
So yeah, we see some good things coming to the housing market. Hopefully, it keeps on cooling down. So go ahead, Akeem. What's your take on housing?
So here's the point. Here's where the issue is with this. They don't speak it in terms that regular people can understand. When you say rates, what rates? The interest rates? Houses are $250,000, close to $500,000. in some places is that. Now in the more rural areas, their prices are going up from 50, 60 to 100 grand. So you have to be able to condemn. I think they're not being able to understand what we're doing. The economy is shifting to a whole nother place. We're in inflation right now. Yes, when it starts to cool life, some of those prices are not going to go down. They're steady going to stay at these points. Trucks are at 100,000. New prop and listen, we don't have an inventory issue. We have a price issue. Regular Americans are not going to be able to afford houses anymore. They're going to be afford micro homes. That's going to be the new wave. Micro homes, shared living. Maybe you'll see a surge in people buying condos or co-op type living situations where it's like duplexes that are micro and you buy those things. But average regular homes, no. First off, also look, the pandemic had a surge of companies, BlackRock, a lot of these companies. There's a company in Canada who owns a large percentage of single family homes here. They're kind of the reasons why the prices are being up. They're kind of they're part of the reasons why it's raising the rent. So when they say that we're going to be able to afford a home, how? The average American barely makes $15 an hour to afford 250,000, 300,000. No, you're going to need more income.
No, I can't. I disagree with you. I think a regular American will still be able to get a home. I was watching on one of my TV shows I always watch on Dave Ramsey. You have people on there calling the show and find out that the reason why they was able to purchase a home, the aspect of working together, coming together as one. So I think the best way for people to able to buy the home like today is to me is to get someone that you could actually grow with to build a family. Find somebody you can marry, and then with that, y'all put y'all income together and y'all able to buy a home. Now, recently, even you say I came, your friend, Mr. Muhammad, who's in the building right now,
Mm-hmm.
recently just purchased a home. So people
Yep.
are doing it.
No,
If
no,
you know how
there.
to, that's why I say it's very important. I always mention the aspect of budgeting. Is the way you budget, the way how you set up your future. You budget correctly, trust me, you could be able to still buy a home, even in the midst of this strong inflation economy. So, right now, people are still. I think there's not enough homes right now in the market, and I think that's why
No,
interest rates is going up.
listen, I disagree with you on that. There are enough homes. They're actually new construction. They are tied up in weird situations. Companies are owning majority of the single family homes and multi properties. So
Yes,
they're tying these things up and trying to push the whole renting culture into it. There's houses for sale. Those things just priced out. But one thing too, there's an article that I advise people to go look at. It's on Yahoo. It says 5 common things that people are not going to be able to afford. One of them was living in major cities. The chance to afford to live in a major city, that's over with for regular people. If you're not high earner network over 250,000, you ain't gonna be able to live in Miami, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Tucson, even Houston, Dallas, even Birmingham.
Hmm. Go ahead, John.
For me, when it comes to big cities, LA, Miami, New York, whatever, those are cities with its high earners, and basically, if you don't have multiple streams of income, or with a strong relationship, it's highly you're not gonna get houses like that. But I do believe there's houses that's outside of the cities. When it comes to small towns, suburban areas, we could buy purchase houses and maybe get a house. Put in maybe a 30-year home loan, something like that. And also too, it's like I was talking about this too from a guy who took off guy he was looking for about buying homes from auctions and buying home from auctions. So like I think it's like every 3 or 4 months. It depends on what state you're in. Usually the state will do like a auctioning when it comes to houses and everything in certain areas in certain cities and everything. Which you go which let's say you live in my area in Pontiac, Michigan, which maybe houses gonna be auctioned up for 8, 9, 10, $11,000 and everything, and and you buy it you buy it as it is and everything. You can do that, and the thing is about when you buy an auction home, you want to be on no type of loans or anything. All you gotta do is pay pay for the insurance, and also you gotta pay for anything that's gone wrong with it and everything. So when it comes to the aspect of living in like cities, and try to get like a big loan to buy a house, You still can, but it'll takes two than one, and also most of your income. If you save for like the 5, 6, 7 years, you won't have to buy a house in your 20s. If you can buy your houses, save all the way to your mid 30s, all the way to your 40s, it is possible you can get a house, or you could take another route of buying auction homes. And usually, when you do that, it may be easier for you. That way, you don't have to be on a loan. I mean, on a 30-year loan, something like that. All you gotta do is buy. You gotta have money cash up. If you don't, they gonna ban you. So if you have the money cash up and you buy it from a home auction, there it is. It'll be easy for you. All you gotta do is get your house insurance and then fix everything to be fixing up. So I do believe in certain areas in America, like especially in the Midwest, you can buy homes. Some houses in the South, you can buy homes. But it comes to cities, it's going to be extremely hard. But I think you can still get a home, as long as you're in a if you were in a relationship, long-term relationship, marriage, and everything, you could definitely work it. It might be harder, but I still believe there's some homes you can get. Go ahead, I think.
So I want to answer this question here.
Go ahead.
Um, Ashton said, "Why do we want to live in a big city?" And here's the thing, Ashton. You are right. A lot of us countries are hell, but here's the thing: where are the jobs? He said, investment is key, brother. Hakeem, I invested back in '04 and got into the game and to get my home 100%. Joe, don't hurt him. You're right, but a lot of people are not investment savvy like you. You're a little bit different. We are a little bit different. But here's the thing: why people want to live in a big city? Most people leave rural areas for jobs. Most country cities, or even most cities that are outside of the big city. And Jordan, you could probably answer this for me too. You from Pontiac. What is in Pontiac as far as jobs?
Well, before it was in Pontiac, we had the three car automobile, which is
Okay.
GM, Chrysler, and Ford. Those jobs are still there, but the thing is, back from 2007 2010, the car market has gone down, and the
Yeah.
people, and a lot of people was losing jobs, because they was really laying off a lot of people and everything. It's still there, but it's not like it used to be,
Not,
and that's why you see a lot of people was kind of leaving. Not just the Metro Detroit area, not just Detroit, but where I'm at and other areas is too. Is because the reason why is because it was the car automobile section, but not it's not like it used to be. So go ahead.
so look, most places in the United States either has a Walmart or a Family Dollar or a Dollar Tree. When we talking about companies where herds of people are coming in, why do you think people from Louisiana leave Louisiana and move to Dallas? It's one straight shot. It's one highway there. People in those surround because all the jobs are in the city, but you're gonna pay big city prices too. The rent is 2,500. You want to make a living, you're gonna move to the city. That's why you can't survive in a rural area. If you have aspirations for something big, rural areas are not gonna be able to do it for you.
Like the major cities. I think the reason why people ask why people want to move to a major city because it's comfort. You're able to find stuff you need. It's very convenient. But however, right now people are being pressed out in the major city. That's
Nope.
why I say I think the best place to go to is like in the countryside where
Nope.
things are more affordable for everybody. Go ahead.
So you're right, dude. Okay, I'll give you that. Due to the due to the internet, if you can get a work from home job that pays you 60,000, those are certain type of skills. Maybe you can make it work. But here's the thing: if you move to a place like Port St. Lucie, Ocala, Florida, Dundee, Florida, places y'all never even heard, there's nothing there. What jobs you gonna work to pay the rent or pay the mortgage that you live there? You're gonna have to have a car to drive an hour out to live. Most people who live in northern Florida that live in the outskirts of Orlando got to drive to Orlando to get a job. Go ahead.
Only thing you can do that you can do is have a job in that certain cities unless you have a trade job. Other than that, you got to move out of the city.
Okay, now you got me there. Now you got me, Jordan. You got me there. Let's hone in on that, and we'll finish this. Plumbing, electrician, HVAC tech, metal worker, pipe fitters. how many regular people got these kind of jobs. Those jobs are dwindling down where it's only a certain fewer people in these cities who have those jobs. So a lot of people don't have skilled trades. So, you know what I mean? You're going to pay for the convenience just like you when you go to 7-Eleven. You're right, D Degenerate. So this is what I'm saying. If you don't have a skilled job and you living in the country, you're going to suffer. If you're not a data analyst, project manager, if you don't got one of these online jobs that are serious so where you can move out. This is where a lot of the tech people from California was moving to Texas and all these other places. Their jobs were online. But they have a certain skill set, web developers, stuff where you can go live wherever you want and get paid $150,000. But for the regular people who depend on factory jobs, who depend on jobs to work for a company like Pfizer, Bricker and Corridor, like these jobs are in the major cities. So, you know what I mean? And if they're not paying you a livable wage, you're not going to live in a major city. So if you're going to move to the rural area, if you start a business, then you might be able to make it work. But who has the money to start a business?
I ain't gonna lie, Hakeem, you make a good point, but at the same time, I think we have to come together. If people want to be able to afford a home, I told you, find somebody that you can settle down with, and y'all both come together, put your money together, and y'all can be able to manage to get a home. Like prime example, you have if you're a regular African American making 60,000, his woman making another 60, that's 120. That's enough money to get a home somewhere in the countryside, a beautiful home, especially in Ohio. There's some homes running over there for like 200 grand, and the home looks beautiful. Go ahead.
Ron, you're 100% right. That
We
is
gotta come together.
No. That is our answer.
That's our answer.
Who wants to pair up and get married anymore? Most men are not going to get into a house with a woman who's not. Let's get something straight. There are women who's making more money than men, but who wants to pair up with a woman who's going to emasculate them? I'd rather go sleep at the rooming house with Junebug.
I was gonna say this, Hakeem. There's jobs up in Alaska which they'll pay you to move and get you homes and everything. But you know, people ain't gonna move to Alaska.
Hey,
they'll pay you good too. Like, there's certain states that they'll pay you to move. They'll get you home and everything. But
Hey.
you know, people don't want to move out there because it's so rural and people want to stay in the city.
And listen, only thing they do in Alaska is drink beer and have sex, and maybe do an assortment of drugs.
Right.
Listen, they got light 24 hours of the day. So when you go after you don't woke up, it's still light. When you go back to sleep, it's still light.
When it's 2 a.m, it's still light. 3
Yeah,
a.m, it's still light.
Oh
The money's
man,
there
that's
now. The money's there.